All right, let's try it again. Let's see if it pops up. So there it goes. Hey, check that out. It's working. About time. Okay, sorry about that. So basically, I've been having problems with the new YouTube. Um, it's not really working correctly. So it has been, I don't know. It's the new format that they have, and it's driving me insane because it doesn't work too well, and I don't like it. I wish they would just not break something that works. If you know what I mean. But if you're with me, say something in the chat just to let me know that you're there. Give me a holler, do whatever you want to do. But yeah, so if I'm going back and forth checking my Instagram because I usually get messages on my Instagram stating, "Hey, I can't see you," or "What's going on?" But no, I got it. I got it now. So, all right. So basically, what I want to talk about is being a personable person. And by the way, I am Garrett O'Brien, your host on Rewired the show, coming to you live in Dewey, Oklahoma, at the Heritage Theater, Gizzy's Eatery here in Dewey, Oklahoma. Kind of exciting stuff going on here in Dewey. Just tell you a little bit about it. There are actually, some rumors going that Killers of the Flower Moon movie is going to be shot here, is going to be shot in some other places. So it's pretty interesting, with all that going on. You see all the movie crews and all that whatnot. And, I've been busy for the past 2 weeks as far as being on set to another movie called 13 Minutes and being able to contribute, my acting and stuff like that to that. So it's been, a pretty phenomenal experience. More good things to come, I promise. But anyways, I'm going to talk about being a personable person. So basically, a personable person is someone that is likable, someone who is relatable, someone who is reliable as well. Someone that, you could talk to and they welcome you in the conversation. They make you feel like you are part of their world in a way. And the cool thing about that is you learn a lot about people when you just ask simple questions. Having a friendly and open demeanor is very important when being a personable person, or a person that, if you want to be a likable person, you just got to really reach out there and show them. The fastest way to kill your likability is to be fake. And being fake is a problem because you're not really expressing who you are. You're not really expressing that you want to have a friendship or you want to be with anybody else, or you just, you really want to just, you kind of come off as somebody who is not really wanting to open up and closed off. And the thing with that is it's hard to make friends with people that are closed off. How do I know? Because I used to be one of those people. I didn't tell anybody about anything in my life, and I kept everything to myself. I really didn't allow anyone in, and I kind of just shut the world out. And the thing with that is when you shut the world out, it within you, it does some things. You have self-talk like you're not worthy, and it, you just start to really come down on yourself. And the thing with that is when you come off as fake, you're not really being transparent. And that's one of the things that I've had to learn to do, was to be completely transparent with the people I'm talking to. And it's very difficult at first because you have to be very vulnerable in order to do so. You got to tell people about, your feelings and stuff like that. And, some people may want to hear it, some people may not. And, that was the interesting thing about that. When I was re-identifying who I was, I shared a lot of things about who I was as a person, and the things that set me off, the things that really, made me feel inadequate, and things like that. And in doing so, I lost close to about 40 friends. And the problem with that is that those friends that took off, chose sides, or did whatever, they didn't see the real me. They're not there to you know they're not there for me in the long run. And that's the thing, is you don't want people like that in your life. The reason why is because they're going to expect everything from you. They're going to expect you to be there 100% to help them up and to, give them support and stuff like that. Well, the problem with that is it's not reciprocated back to you. Like when you need help, all they tell you to do is get over it, and if you don't get over it, they basically bail and shut you off, and you're done. And, that happened to about 40 of my friends when my soon-to-be ex-wife, you know, uh, she took off. They chose her side, and you know what? All right, that's fine. That's great, because their path is not my path. I have a different path, and I've chosen a different path for myself. So, what helped me kind of identify the people that were actually legit friends and the people that were not friends at all was being transparent. And like I said, it's very difficult. It's a very difficult thing to do. And, if you're not used to sharing your feelings, I recommend you doing it with your closest friends or the people that you trust the most, because it can get pretty ugly as far as how you talk about it, how you explain everything and whatnot. And it's not damaging, but the other people see the type of emotions that you've been holding within, and they get to see the really raw emotion and the raw feelings that you have. And it's not really, I use the word intimate loosely in this, because intimate can mean a number of things, but it's very intimate. It doesn't have to be between a man and a woman. It could be between, friends, like a woman and a woman, or a man and a man. And, it's, as men, personally, I've been told to stuff it down, push through it, get over it. Men don't cry, stuff like that. And you know what I tell those people? I pretty much give them the finger, because, we're all humans. We all have basic emotions. We all have, intricate emotions as well. And, society has been telling us to stuff our emotions down and stuff like that. And I'm telling you, to be a genuine person, you really got to open up. You really need to show people who you are. You really need to have integrity. You need to be a person of your word, a man of your word or a woman of your word. Really step up and just show the world that you are this person and you're not afraid of what anybody else is saying against you. So, and also, being, partially, personable, um, listening first and then speak. I was horrible at this. I could tell you that from experience, because I would base, conversations off straight emotion, and basing straight emotion, or basing comments off of straight emotion, can lead you into a lot of troubles. It can, if, for example, you're talking with your buddy and they say something that's offensive to you, and you get angry and you rebut back and basically, give them a piece of your mind, that could damage the friendship. It could damage the relationship you have with that other person. And the problem with that is once you say something, you can't take it back, because that will always be ringing in that person's mind that you said this, so it's always going to be in the back of the person's mind that this is how this person feels about me. So you really got to be careful of what you say, and then, listen to what you're being told, process the information, and then speak. Men operate a little differently. I know I've done a little reading. I've read the book Love and Respect. Read the book. I've done the Love Dare. I've done 5 love languages. You name it, I've read it. I've read a number of books where it says, women basically, I'm not speaking from an expert point of view. This is just what I'm reading and just my interpretation of it. But women, in a sense, have to get everything off their mind. If a woman comes home from work and, the guy's sitting there, literally just turn off your TV, put your phone down, and just let her talk. Don't try to fix it. because that's the number one thing that men screw up with is a woman's trying to explain something and a man's like, what can I do to help? What can I do to fix it? They don't want you to fix it. They just want you to listen. And correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I'm reading and stuff like that, just listen. Don't speak. Just sit there and let them vent. Let them get out their frustrations, because sometimes that's all they need. If they're asking for input, great. Give your input, but don't try to fix it. And, with the same sense with a woman, if you're sitting there and a man's trying to talk to you, he's already processed the information. He's just basically coming back with his feelings, his thoughts, and what he's thinking about what you said, in response to what you said. So, don't really jump down his throat, because, this is just his interpretation of what you're saying. And again, it's all interpretation, how we interpret the other person talking to us. So that's why it's very important to listen first and then speak. Being too quick to insert ourselves in a conversation could lead to problems. We often missed a chance to establish a connection with the other person. And in doing so, we kind of sell ourselves short. Like giving too much information too fast, or not giving enough information when, being asked, for example, which kind of leads me into the other part of active listening. Active listening is, you have nothing in front of you. You're staring right in the person's eyes. You are taking the words in that they're saying, and you're responding accordingly. And the thing is you really need to concentrate on what they are saying. Like I said, looking somebody in the eyes is very intimate. It's also, it's very respectful. And I used to be, this is coming from somebody who used to be really intimidated to looking at people's eyes. Well, that's one of the biggest things that I had to work on to kind of jump over that little hump, was my confidence. Confidence has a lot to do with looking at somebody in their eyes. So, you really got to get over that hump, build your own confidence, and get in that hump. And really, to be an active listener, you really need to focus on that person that's speaking to you. So, one of the things that I used to do, I know my video is really choppy, so I'm probably going to take the video I recorded and I'm going to post it on there. I'll probably delete the one that's live. Yeah. So I'm just watching the playback on it and I'm like, holy cow, that's horrible. So, but I'm trying to work on better internet. I'm trying to work on better tools. So I'm trying to make the show a little bit better for y'all. But anyhow, moving on, don't hog the spotlight. Hogging the spotlight is something that, you're, especially if you're extroverted, you may live to be the life of the party. It comes off as, hogging the spotlight comes off as being, an attention grabber, someone who wants 100% of attention 100% of the time. And I used to be one of those people. I know some people like that, and it kind of rubbed people the wrong way, because whether you think it or not, someone always wants attention. When someone's hogging all that attention, it really takes away from other people and it gives them a weird vibe. And another thing, likable people don't want to hog the spotlight. They want to share it with other people. Like opportunities. It's actually one of the things that I looked at when I was doing casting calls and stuff like that. I really started to notice, when I was doing the casting calls and my specific, look was being asked for, I'd have a hard time sharing it because I didn't want anybody else to get that. But the thing is hogging that spotlight, it's damaging yourself. The reason why I say that is because you're not thinking about other people, you're thinking about only yourself. And that was one of the things I started doing is, no matter what kind of casting call it is, I share it on Facebook. I love it. I share it on Facebook and I tell people about it. And it's really helped me grow as a person as well, because, I want other people to be successful as well. And that's one of the things, about hogging the spotlight is if you're hogging the spotlight, you don't care about anybody else's feelings. You don't care about who you step on and what you do to get to where you're at. So, I just asked, that it, bring others into your conversation. They understand the importance of bringing others into the conversation, and it really helps a quieter person come out of their shell. Um, it's just one of those things that it's very important to include other people because, like I said, you can't do it alone. You can't just run out there and grab everything. And that's one of the things that I've noticed, in being on set and stuff like that, is that it's not one person doing something. It's a conglomerate of everyone doing a different job to make the complete project. And it's phenomenal watching how many people it takes just to shoot, a 15-second scene. And it's just it's phenomenal. And there's no other word to explain it. All right, so moving on. Anyways, all right. So when you're having a conversation, try to leave your devices, try to leave your phones, your iPads, magazines, computers, everything, that could take your attention off of the other person, get rid of it. The reason why is because when you put your focus on your phone, put your focus on a book or a TV show, you're basically telling that other person that they're not important enough to basically have your attention. And, instead of scrolling social media, put your phone down, go outside and socialize. It's mingle with people in the real. It's very important. It's one of the things that we've lost sight of is actually going out and mingling with other people. And I can tell you from personal experiences, that has helped me grow tremendously when it comes to my own, stuff, dealing with my own crap and dealing with my own PTSD and that junk. It's helped me open up. I've been able to build stronger relationships, and I've been able to cultivate new relationships as well. And, nothing hurts worse than feeling like you're being ignored. Yeah, I can tell you from personal experience, I've been ignored, a number of times by people that, I truly loved. And it feels horrible. The reason why is because you feel insignificant. You feel, you just feel completely destroyed. And, they feel like they're protecting themselves, but internally you're internalizing that as you're not important enough and you're not good enough to be around the person. So just be careful, on ignoring people and stuff like that. You got to go old school. Bring back small talk. Small talk is amazing. It helps build real relationships. And I don't know. Just going outside, putting your phone away, putting something away, it changes your whole mindset. It shows you that the world is bigger than what's just on your phone. Because, you can see the end of the world on the phone, but you really can't see the end of the world if you go outside and look. You have to go and explore. You have to go see other things. You have to go out. So put your stuff down and just go out and talk to people. One of the things, it's kind of weird, but synchronizing yourself with other people. When someone smiles, we're inclined to smile back. If you ever notice that, just try it tomorrow or try it tonight. Go out and just smile at somebody, see if they smile back. Just kind of test the theory and stuff like that. And it's crazy because the psychological part of that is that we learn that as infants. Because it begins in infancy. If a baby naturally, if you smile at a baby, does the baby smile back? They're mimicking that. It's one of those things. It's kind of one of the. Yeah. So I'm kind of getting tongue tied here, but I only got about 6 minutes left, so I gotta push through these. So the social synchronization is an important way to build rapport with others. You smile, you include them in conversation, you handshake and smile. Always smile because it's inviting, it's welcoming, and people want to be around other happy people, whether they say it or not. People want to be around happy people. So your voice and your tone, they have something to do with that as well. Be soft. Don't, when you first see someone, be like, hey, how's it going? You get in their face and completely drive them way back, and just send them off to the other end. The other person will feel, will automatically, it's something subconsciously that initiates in the person that they will automatically feel like they're on the same wavelength with you. Have you ever had a conversation where you're talking with somebody, you're smiling, you're having a good time, and you just feel like you know that person for your entire life? That's what I mean about synchronizing with other people. Is you're meshing so well that the conversations just flow naturally, and you enjoy spending time with them. You're able to empathize with them, and the conversation with someone, you need to be aware how you're mimicking them as well. Try to discreetly match their body language. Like if someone is always touching your arm, I'm not saying, hey, I'm going to touch their arm too, but mimic their body language in a way. If somebody is pushing back a little bit, kind of timid, don't push in, because all you're going to do is push them farther back. Kind of back up a little bit and give them some space. Ask conversation starters. That's a very good one to do. But the trick is knowing what questions to ask. Open-ended question invites another person to offer an opinion and give their thoughts on the subject. When, for instance, when you want to talk to somebody, do you just come out and ask them, open-ended questions or closed-ended questions, like yes or no? You really got to think on how you want to ask the questions. Like one good open-ended question is, what is the last funny video you saw? Because it gives them a chance to really emphasize on what they saw and kind of recollect the thought that they had, and just see everything that that they were enjoying. Focus on the who, what, where, when, why, and how. That's the best way to start conversations. Close-ended one, are you feeling better today? That's a very close-ended question because that's a yes or no answer. Rephrase that and say, how are you feeling today? That's one of the ones I love to use because I really want to know how somebody's doing. Because you can really understand what they're going through by rephrasing the questions. Be open-minded. Likable people are very approachable. Be willing to compromise. Of course you're going to meet people that you disagree with, but the idea is to allow others to say that, you could really better understand them if you allow them to say what they want to be heard. And, they need to feel like they're being heard as well. So one of the things I love being is reliable. Being reliable and balanced, being moody, short-tempered, gloomy, opposite of likable. Those are the things that push people away. Even if you're having a bad day, force a smile. Just go out and just talk to people. Just get out of your own head, because usually when we're miserable, we're in our head. We're stuck in isolation. We're in our own body. We need to get out, and we need to go talk to other people. Be honest. When you're stressed or frazzled, give yourself a little extra space. Let people know, I'm feeling really stressed out right now. I don't know what to do. I just need some time to just relax. I've had to do that this past couple weeks because, I've been really stressed out. I let my boss know, look, I'm really stressed. I need to just take a break. I need an afternoon off. I really need to just go and recollect my thoughts. And that's the thing is, 9 times out of 10, people will understand because they've been there themselves. And I'm not saying, go and take a full day off. I was dealing with some PTSD stuff, and dealing with some combat stuff as well. So I needed a little extra time to kind of get away from the crowd and just bring myself down. And, sometimes that's how it happens. And, one of the last things I want to talk about is look at shared interests. things that you enjoy or things that they enjoy. Try to find something that you like as well to relate to what they do. For instance, like if someone likes theater, you can go, oh, that's awesome. I've always wanted to know what acting is like. What is acting like? Open-ended questions kind of helps them explain, and you're talking about what they enjoy as well. And it's the same thing, vice versa. You could tell them about something and they could ask you the same questions, stuff like that. So looking for shared interests is a very important thing because you're taking interest in what the other person is saying. Last thing I want to talk about, because I literally have no time left, is say what you mean verbally and non-verbally. Body language can tell you a lot about a person. If you avoid eye contact, I understand it because I was there. You have to force yourself to start to look in people's eyes. It's one of the most powerful ways to begin a conversation, to face the person directly, because you have their full attention. They have your full attention, and they are aware that you are trying to, communicate with them. Avoid bad body language, no crossed arms or slumped posture, smiling, do everything you can to just have a positive, shoulders back, chest out, not really chest out, but, a straight posture, don't slump down and don't, hang your arms to your side, don't cross your arms, stuff like that. Really let the person know that you're welcoming, let the person know that you may be struggling, but you are also there to help them as well. And one of the most important elements in likability is making sure that all nonverbal messages you send to the other person are congruent with the actual words that come out of your mouth. Knowing what you're talking about is very important. Don't go off to his tangent telling this huge, elegant story about how you saved a baby from a tree that got thrown up there by a tornado and stuff like that. Because, it's just, you really just need to just make things simple. Make sure people can understand what you are saying. Don't use, if somebody is having trouble following your words, try to use a little simpler way to talk, stuff like that. You really, being, a personable person, you are not a selfish person. And it's a very tough thing to do. I can tell you from personal experience, it's really hard to do. And one of the things that I've been told, lately is that my eyes are very genuine, and I have a way with welcoming people in. That was not something that I did automatically. I had to teach myself how to really put myself aside and just focus on others. So I thank you guys for joining me tonight. I'm sorry for the issues that I had with the video. I'm probably going to post the actual video that I recorded because the live one looks really horrible. I will give you a better video here later on tonight. But anyways, thank you for coming to join me. My name is Garrett O'Brien, the host of Rewired the show, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week. All right, see you guys later.